Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me to explore what graphic design is. As a graphic designer for over about 20 years, and currently I'm working as a creative supervisor, I think I know one thing or two about graphic design. So please join me to explore together. Let me share my screen. So let me start with a few questions. Do you know what's the difference between photo editing, photo retouching? Do you know what's the difference between RGB and CMYK? Do you know the difference between the vector images and raster images? Do you know the difference between static design and responsive design? If you can answer all the questions, then you're the master of graphic design, I think. And you can skip my presentation probably. If you can't answer all of those questions, let's explore together. So I will talk about my experience and then we'll give you an overview of graphic design. Later, I will take some questions if you have any. So I grew up in China. Before I moved to the United States, I worked as a graphic designer at a wedding photo studio, advertising agency, and another advertising agency and a print shop. And before I moved to the United States, I was working at a product distributor of a French brand. Over those years, I designed brochures, posters, billboard posters, and easel posters, and trade show displays and arts, and also some hotel display, hotel table kind of products, advertising display. And I also did the packaging design and calendar design. And I did the photo retouching and photo editing. Photo editing is basically some color changes and lighting changes, adjustments. But the retouching is like if someone blocked one of your arm, and we may be able to remove that person from your arm, something like that. And then let's talk about my experience in the US. When I came here, my English wasn't so good. So I went back to school for English and for graphic design. At my community college, my amazing professor, Nori, introduced me to her creative team at VASPA. There, I had my amazing experience as a 9-month paid intern, and I designed can labels. I did research for the color forecast. I created online and local store color cards and color combination. And I did some featured products catalogs. And then I went to USC, University of Illinois at Chicago, still studying for graphic design. And I was one of the honors students. And then I volunteered to be the intern for the honors college marketing area. I did design student publications and created logos and the college's events, flyers, and newsletters, all that. And my full-time job actually started at Major Marketing Inc. We call it MMI, which is the company that I'm working for now. From a digital graphic designer to a senior digital graphic designer, now I'm creative supervisor for over 5 years. At my job, I don't only design, I also program. It's the most exciting part actually at my job is turning static images and designs to responsive, beautiful layouts and designs that appear on thousands and hundreds of people's devices on different screen sizes. It's very satisfying. So I design emails and websites, and we do most of the emails. And even though emails seems like it's simple and maybe just have a major offer in that email, and or there's one event, main event in that email, but we treat it like a full web page, from the layout to design to content to calls to action, interaction, all that. At the same time, I also need a team of 6 to 8 designers and manage orders. We work on orders from 150 to 350 orders monthly. So it's a big quantity, and it's a fast-paced working environment. As you heard, I said I actually designed all kinds of things, not only print designs, also web, like digital web designs. So what is graphic design? In my understanding, as simply put, it's a type of visual communication. It uses visual content and elements to convey complex and beautiful ideas and thoughts in a very easily understood way. Sometimes you don't even need words or language, almost like music. Sometimes you don't even need to know the notes, but you could get the feelings. But for design, you may not be able to identify the exact elements in that, but you can get the idea from it. There are many ways to categorize graphic design, but I found this resource called techaffinite.com. There are 7 types of graphic design, and I agree with that. There's visual identity design, user interface and user experience design, and marketing and advertising design, and packaging and signage and environmental design and motion graphics. Probably also there's publication design. So let's talk about visual identity. Who doesn't know Google when you see this logo? Yes, all of you know. What about Amazon and Coca-Cola? They immediately jump into your head, even if I don't have these logos here. Why? Because their identity really did great. So identity design, like logo is the first part of the identity design, I would say that, or the name. The company's name and the logo and the color selection and font selection and letterhead and all that it belongs to identity design. As you can tell, the left side are the big brands. They're successful. And mine on the right side, those are mine. They are not as successful as those big brands, of course. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here now talking about these small things, right? So let's move on to next one. User experience, user interface design. Why it's graphic design? Because it's also part of visual communication. Even though user experience design can be both visual and physical, but it's very heavily involved with the visual part, concepts, and the layout. If you use both Facebook and WeChat, you can compare the design, their interface is different. The interface are different. Also, their functionality for some parts are also different. Although they may did a similar research about about people's behavior and the user experience, but how they came out to the solutions might be totally different. Also, let's take a look at the websites that we are very familiar with, like Amazon and Walmart. You can tell the interface, like what you see, that's the interface, what you see and what you first touch, all that is part of user interface. So they are different. And the user experience, I'm sure they are different too. See how you feel and if it will drive you to explore more, stay on that website longer. So at our current company, MMI, we also do email and websites design, right? So I think our work is also user experience, user interface design. Although it's not as deep as the user experience design, because we more focus on the interface, how the look, the aesthetic part of the design. However, we also need to think about how it flows. This is still part of interface design. For example, on the left side of this first website design is the desktop. And then when it converts to the mobile version, you can tell the items are different and they appear different. For example, the navigation, they are not cramped on top of that anymore. Now it became a hamburger. When you click on that, it will expand. So all that, including a simple email design on the very right is the email design. We also need to consider the flow and the design of it because it's a responsive design. The third is marketing and advertising. Honestly, I think everything is about marketing and advertising. And it's also the company that I'm working at is all about that, marketing and advertising, including digital and print. For example, postcards or direct mail. Some people still don't use, just, I know most people think print designs should be already dead. There's no use. But think about it, some people still don't use smartphones. So there is still small population still need the print design. But I totally agree with you. Personally, I'm so into digital design. I haven't touched print design in a long time. And even though in the past, I did a lot of print designs, as you can tell, actually these are all my work examples. You can tell some of them are print, some of them are digital. And there's one, it's not my work, it's my team's work, is the Facebook post from my company's page. So that include banners and brochures, catalogs, all that is considered marketing design. Also, in the email like we design every day, it's marketing design, because within the email you want to either to create the awareness of the brand, or you want to offer some kind of offer to turn that into a revenue. That's what all about marketing and advertising, is to get your brand heard or seen, and get more people to buy your products, to purchase your service. So these are the examples that I designed, like banners. You are familiar if you are interested in something and you clicked online, and then the next day you may see the similar banners kind of following you around. It's not too creepy. Nowadays it's AI, you know, you can't, if you want to stay online, you can't totally skip all that being watched in some way. But well, there's pros and cons for everything, right? But all these are legit, like business and products. In fact, some of those products are great and the offers are great. When we were designing for some advertisers, occasionally we even took those offers ourselves and click on the email, we get it. So the fourth one is packaging design. Who doesn't know anything involves packaging? When you buy anything, packaging doesn't only mean the box, even though here I showed it's more like box, but it includes a handbag when you do grocery shopping, or including a wrapper around of the ice cream. What else? Yeah, even including a piece of meat at the supermarket, how they packaged it and how they stamped on that, the price tag, all those, they are considered packaging design. So here I have the left side is what you are familiar with as Amazon packaging design, which is simple and straightforward. It's perfectly fine, perfectly good. And then I have an example from my redesign for a soap, and then have the VASPA label I did before. They're all considered packaging design. The first one is signage and environmental design. When you go to a shopping mall, a new shopping mall, if you need to go to the bathroom, and you may not want to ask a stranger because you even don't know, maybe they don't even speak the same language, and especially now, it's a pandemic, you don't want to get too close to strangers. Then what do? You look for the signs. Yeah, the signs are very important. And also if you go to a park, like a national park, you may see the signs to navigate your sightseeings. And also if you go to a trade show or somewhere, and especially you need to find an exit or something, you will find signs. All those are very important. However, they may not give you the commercial value immediately, but it's more environmental, more public service type of value you can find. So here I show an example of my own my own capstone project for my college, honors college project before I graduated from USC. It's a redesign for the CTA signage. The reason is that I couldn't find, as a newcomer from another country, and also I was not living in Chicago downtown. So when I tried to find buses to collect or find subways to collect, I couldn't navigate it easily. Unlike some of the other examples, like I experienced, because I visited Hong Kong many times, and you wouldn't get lost. If you're in Hong Kong, you wouldn't get lost. You can see the signs very clearly, where to collect, where to change, what transportation you can get on, all that. And I really appreciated that type of thoughtfulness for all people, maybe not just local people, also for tourists. So I designed this, although it's not being used, but I'm proud of this project. And hopefully you can appreciate some signage designs out somewhere at a public place. The sixth is motion graphic design. You wouldn't think, movies about graphic design? Maybe not necessarily the movie itself, like film itself, but obviously, like before the movie started, there's like a sequence, like credits, how the shows out. Some movie title sequences more creative than the other ones, right? Behind that, it involves graphic design, like storyboard creation, all that. Here I show some examples from my work by one of our amazing designer, and they are posted on our social media pages. And they move. Now they are on my screen. They're static, but they move. They definitely move. And also on the right side, there are 4 movies that I created, like a small short, and also music video, all that. And so you can nowadays you also can create HTML5 animation, means it's all in code. The animation is in code, and you can. It's like a small website. The text is live, and the button, you can click on the button, that will take you somewhere else. It's just amazing. Also the GIFs. If you use social media a lot, I'm sure you have seen GIFs everywhere. Sometimes it's ha ha ha, repeating or jumping. All this is graphic design. Also including presentation. Maybe today my presentation wasn't created as fancy, but don't judge a graphic designer don't graphic, because sometimes they can do beautiful work for clients, not necessarily they have the time and the energy or even the kind of mood to work on their own. I know it's my excuse. Okay, the 7th one is publication. I believe all of you have read many books. Books are the big chunk of the publication design part, from the book cover to inside and illustration, all that. It's because graphic design also do layout, how you lay the text in a way that consistent, also with beautiful rag, with correct, like how the text breaks. As you can see, I put some of the examples that I did in the past. So I'm not going into detail for publication design. So who can be a graphic designer? I would say everyone can if you want to. And I believe there's graphic design talent in everyone. Just think about it. Every kid can draw, can doodle, and within their doodle artwork, we can see some great ideas. As before, I was defining what a graphic design was. I was showing the picture of the cave painting. That's the origin of graphic design, is how you convey an idea. So before the kids could, before the kids can express verbally, they can paint and draw to show their ideas. However, if you want to be able to convey complex ideas within a limited space and limited time, and attracting the targeted audience's attention in seconds, it definitely takes practice and professional education. So that's why I think babies scribble and we design, and you and me. So thank you for watching and for participating. And if you have any questions, and now I'm ready to answer some of the questions. Thank you.